Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Carter, and I am the Executive Director of the Livermore Valley Performing Arts Center. And it is my privilege today to be talking to our Congressional Representative, Eric Swalwell. Today, we're going to talk about the Save Our Stages Act, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed is going to be a part of the larger relief package. But before we get into that, Congressman, could you tell me a little bit about your own experience in the arts and the impact that it's had on your life? I know you grew up some of your formative years out here in the Tri-Valley and Dublin, and anything that comes to mind for you when you think about that?
Oh yeah, Chris, I learned pretty quickly that I didn't belong in the arts, right? At least belonged in the audience. But I did high school drama. I was in the play Macbeth. I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. But the drama teacher said that art didn't necessarily love me back. So I long enjoyed the arts, and as a city council member and a planning commissioner in Dublin, have enjoyed seeing the Tri-Valley evolve and be a place that is host to the arts. And at Dublin High School, my alma mater, they invested in a performing arts center, which I would have loved to have had when I was a student. Yeah, I have long supported the arts, and frankly, Chris, the first commission that I served on before even going on the planning commission was the Heritage and Cultural Arts Commission in Dublin. And when I was seeking to get involved in Dublin, at first I wanted to run for the city council at like 25 years old. Thankfully, Tim Sobrani said, no, you're going to get involved in a commission. And I said, great, I'll do the planning commission. He said, no, that's a high level commission. You're going to do the arts commission. And I said, Tim, what the hell do I know about art? And he said, exactly, learn art and culture in the community and you'll be better served. And I'm so glad that he directed me that way.
Oh, that's a great story. And Tim Sobrani was on our board of directors for a while too, and he's been a great connection for us. And so I'm glad to hear that he kind of got you going in that area. Can you talk a little bit now about this Save Our Stages Act in particular? So what does it entail, and what would we expect to see from it?
So it's bipartisan legislation. I'm a supporter of it that would effectively give small business grants, not loans, but grants, money that would not have to be paid back to what is narrowly defined as independent live venue operators, promoters, and talent representatives, the people like the Performing Arts Center in Livermore who have been affected by this because of COVID restrictions, have not been able to have live venues operating. And we know it's not only the talent that's on the stage, but it's the people who are behind the curtain, off stage, working the concessions, who have also been affected and have lost their jobs. So it would direct grants, but it would also allow recipients of the grants to use the grants for costs incurred because of COVID. So if you're spacing out your theater, or if you're having different sanitation checkpoints, or temperature checks, or you have to administer a vaccine check, it would help you pay for that. So it's so needed. The best ally, frankly, that we have on this in Congress, I think we have Speaker Pelosi, who represents San Francisco, a number of stages in San Francisco, and then Chuck Schumer in the Senate, who represents the state of New York, who's the leader on the Democratic side in the Senate. And Leader Schumer, of course, has Broadway. So I think we've got a good shot, if we can't get it in this short-term relief package that we're doing in the next 24 hours, in the first 100 days of the Biden administration, that we would be able to get it through. So I know our stages are hurting, and just thank you all for what you're doing to get by and make sure we are aware of what the need is.
I think we all really appreciate that. And I can tell you from our own experience, when we had to close in March, our staff got reduced by 85% immediately. And the remainder of the staff took a big pay cut. And but we're part of a larger group now that's formed, this East Bay Venues Coalition. And a lot of these spaces are in your district. And I was surprised to see, right now it's about 25 spaces in Alameda County. And we kind of checked with ourselves to see, okay, what's your operating cost annually? Right. What are your expenses? And we found that collectively we contribute about $250 million to the local economy. And that doesn't even include how a lot of data that shows when people come to a performance, for every dollar they spend, they're going to spend $12 in the community. Does that align with some of your understanding? And can you talk a little bit more about the economic impact?
That's right.
When these spaces are closed.
I mean, right around the corner from Livermore Performing Arts Center is Cream, right? The ice cream shop. So if people aren't going to the theater, they're not going to get an ice cream after. So there's a collateral effect in the community that you just identified. And so that's what we're really trying to get at, is who's been affected because these large venues where hundreds of people would gather and then afterwards or before, spend dollars that keep other businesses thriving. We also hope that this package, even the short term, if we can't get Save Our Stages in this short term package, that it will reload the Paycheck Protection Plan. So Paycheck Protection Plan, obviously a lot of businesses and nonprofits benefited from that. And it gave 10 weeks of payroll in essentially a grant form, because if you use the program, if you use the loan properly, it became a forgivable loan. So we do expect that there will be an extension of the Paycheck Protection Plan, that it will be reloaded. I don't know how many weeks, we're still negotiating that, but we know that need is absolutely there.
Great. And I got to tell you, that was a real lifeline for us, because we applied for that right away. And I don't know if I'd be talking to you right now if that hadn't come through. So really appreciate.
I'm glad to hear that. And we did a couple rounds of it, and we realized immediately that the banks, because they were getting 4 to 5 percentage points on each loan, that they were prioritizing the biggest loans, because the loan would be up to $10 million. So if you're a bank and trying to make the most money on the points, well, you're going to put all the $10 million loans first, process those because you're going to make more money, and the smaller loans are going to get processed later. And I think that was in the wrong order. So we dispersed the money to smaller, more community banks in poorer areas to try and make sure that everyone was getting it. So if there was any fault or flaw in the program, I think it's that we I guess didn't anticipate how greedy some of the banks would be in doing that. But I think we did fix that, and I know the next rollout we will anticipate that we have to solve for that.
Well, I can tell you, Fremont Bank is our bank, and they did a wonderful job. They're awesome.
They are great. Yes, they are. Yep.
Yeah. Could you talk? So, if you want to say anything directly to the other operators of the venues in your district, is there anything you want to let us know? Just speaking directly.
Yeah, I would want them to know that I've also been working with the Theater Association, NATO, the National Association of Theater Owners, who are in almost the same position that you're in. And the goal is obviously to have a safe environment. I've not talked to an operator who wants to put their audience members at risk, or their cast, or their employees. And so it's just, what can we do, to space people out? Everyone obviously looking forward, just as in a theater or at a symphony, you're looking forward, and that puts you in a better position than if people were facing each other. There's making sure that if you serve food, recognizing that you have to sanitize that, whether it's just limiting the interaction between a common food area. But I do recognize and appreciate that for your venues to operate, the food concessions, and many of them are important to have going. That pays for a lot of the operating costs. And so if there were prohibitions on food, that would limit your ability to open. So yeah, I want you to know I hear the issues you have. I want you open as quickly as possible. And if you can't open, I want you to have a grant that allows you to have a bridge to the other side.
Thank you. Well, one of the things that I think is really remarkable about this particular Save Our Stages Act is, and you said it before, is the bipartisan support of this. It seems pretty overwhelming, and you don't see that very often nowadays. It's traditionally, the arts are not always at the top of mind when you think of support, philanthropic or otherwise. Is this a signal of things to come in the future? Have we kind of crossed a bridge where now there's going to be more of that in the future? What are your just thoughts on that?
Yeah, I hope absence makes the heart grow fonder, that not being able to go to a performance makes us, realize how much we miss it and how important it is to our lives and our kids' lives too. And so, I can't wait to, take my kids to see the next Minions movie that was delayed in the theater. And usually taking kids to a theater is like a nightmare for parents, but I view your, industry the same way, which is you can't wait to sit, for a performance. So I hope that, we recognize how much we miss, live venue productions, and that we go back and support them as soon as they're open, and that you have a way to stay in business to get to that point.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot here just for a second. One of the things I like to ask a lot of people, and you've been to the Bankhead Theater before, who would you want us to bring to the Bankhead to perform? Is there a particular performer or artist that you've been really
Taylor Swift, please.
Okay.
I cold pitched Taylor Swift on a "Get Out the Vote" video like a week before the election. We made a video and asked her to license the song, to donate the song, and I didn't know anyone in her universe, and it made its way all the way to her, and she agreed and helped us.
Oh wow!
Yeah, she donated the song to us. The first time she'd ever done it. So I'm a Swiftie, as they would call them. So
so is my daughter.
Really?
Well, maybe you could help us make that connection then.
There we go.
Yeah. We do have Vanessa Williams coming in the fall for our galas, so I'll make sure I send you an invite for that. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. I know you're super busy. Good luck with everything, and have a great holiday.
Great. You too. Thank you, Chris, and thank you to everyone with the Performing Arts Center. Hang in there, and I look forward to seeing you all